Happy holidays and welcome to Aztecs All In, the podcast that goes all in on San Diego State sports. I'm Louis Weiner. He is Steve Perez, two Aztec alums who love talking Aztec sports. Steve, how are you? Happy holidays to you.
Merry Christmas, Louis. Merry Christmas.
Here's what's coming up on Aztecs All In. We're going to be talking Aztec football. Danny O'Neill is leaving, Steve, and that's a bit of a surprise because we thought the Sean Lewis era started with a quarterback who might be around for just more than just one season.
Interesting. I probably won't be saying his name anymore since he's no longer wants to be associated with the San Diego State University program. So I will not be giving him any of our energy because this is Aztecs All In. So,
and he's all
choosing
out.
to look ahead, what that tells me is, despite the fact that this quarterback spent an entire year playing as a freshman and presenting, according to the narrative, the best chance for the team to succeed, he is now leaving, and it tells me that somewhere out there has to be a bigger, better, more experienced mobile quarterback who will be able to hold their own in some sort of an improvisational situation because of the way things were developing in the offense and on the offensive line. There was a lot of that this past season.
Yeah, the word is he wanted to play closer to home, but our friends at the East Village Times said that they asked him to bulk up and perhaps take a redshirt season. So I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened, but that's the news that East Village Times is reporting. So he's leaving. Go ahead.
No, that's it. That's great. We can move on and see who comes in after him.
Yeah, let's say who's staying, though. Jordan Napier, Trey White, Delshawn Staley, Tana Latuli. Those are guys who are committed to staying with the program. So he does have a core set of players who, came in season one and decided, hey, I want to stick around, Steve.
The big pitch for the players that are staying is the same reason that we are trying to keep eyeballs and interest on this program is because they have one more year in the Mountain West. And after that, they're going to a newly reformed Pac-12 conference. And if you look at one of the teams that are joining them, is Boise State, they're in that national championship picture. So that is the promise. It's the carrot that's being held in front of all of us. And we're all be going, you'll buy those season tickets, stay interested. We're coming. Things are getting better.
And we'll see if that playoff doesn't change because right now, four top conference people get the first top four seeds, and they happen to be one of them, and it's not a team in the Southeast Conference, and so we'll have to see how that plays out. But this week, Coach Sean Lewis did talk about the importance of keeping those main guys here on campus.
Yeah, absolutely, right. I mean, again, this whole thing's driven by players, right? So when you have your captains like Tana Latui and Trey White and Chris Johnson and, Delshawn Staley and Big Ross on the offensive side as well, anchoring down the old line, for those guys to come back, right, that speaks volumes, obviously, about the belief and the vision that they have and the direction that we're going and the health of our culture and what they've created, right? They're kids of high character that have poured a lot into this program, not just this past season, but prior to our arrival. And as they mentioned, as they dropped, they feel like they got unfinished business that they want to tend to and to get this thing back to the level that they know that it's capable of and that we know that we're capable of as well.
Okay, good to know there's some continuity going that way in the Aztecs as far as the key players on parts of the offense and defense. As far as the coaches, there's a new defensive coordinator, Rob Aurick, and he has been coaching the edge positions for the last season in this new Aztec fast configuration. And that was necessary because the Aztecs lost the previous defensive coordinator, the guy from University of Washington, who is now the new head coach of the University of North Dakota. We wish him well and welcome the coaches that are now accepting new responsibilities inside the San Diego State Aztecs fast configuration. Very important to remember this, Louis. Coaches coach. Players make plays. So you can have the best coaches in the world standing there on the sidelines and trying to coach players up. But if the players aren't out there making plays and That's the important thing, and that's why it's so great that the players are finally getting financially rewarded with this name, image, and likeness money that's out there. Because last time I checked, I didn't tune in a college football game and say, gee, I wonder what sort of plays that guy on the sideline is going to call for those players out there, busting a hump.
Well, it's good he promoted within. He doesn't have to go find somebody from outside, so the players already know Ulbrich, so that's good for them. And we did get word on the first game of the season for next season for football. The Aztecs home opener will be on a Thursday night, Steve, against mighty Stony Brook. The Stony Brook, I don't even know what their nickname is. I do know they're from Long Island, New York, and they play football. So we'll have to see Thursday night. So get yourself ready for a Thursday night in August for football.
Right. The more games they can do on Thursday night and the fewer games on Friday night when local high schools are out there lighting up the Friday night lights, and the parents' attention, the fans' attention, and even some of the local media's attention is devoted to high school football. That's better.
Right. Let's go over to basketball now. The Aztecs 7-2 on a holiday break. They don't play again until the 21st of December in San Jose against Cal, but they're coming off wins over Fresno State, USD, and you will fill us in on that in depth in just a couple of minutes. And their most recent game, Steve, was in 84-62. Well, that was the 84-62 one was against Fresno. They did they did beat Cal Baptist 81-75, and that's a game that they led by 19 with 9 minutes left, and they were able to hold on. Cal Baptist hit 12 three-pointers in that game. But both Miles Bird and Miles Heide played well. Miles Bird had 19 points. Miles Heide, 5 of 5. And he's showing some offensive prowess this season that we hadn't seen from him before. So good for him.
That's right. We'll have Coach Dutcher fill us in on his views about the depth of the program this season, even though it's not a squad that's been playing together a lot. So that will hold him in good stead in a long conference season. Oddball thing about that Fresno game is apparently the schedule is home and home in the Mountain West, whereas in the past it was a little bit more flexible. And that means the Aztecs are going to have to travel to all these different places in the Mountain West for their swan song season. And part of that, I think, will help the local schools with their local attendance, because the Aztecs nationally ranked and always a good draw, and people love to show up and hate on them, which is part of the home college basketball atmosphere.
Yeah, after the Cal Baptist game, I asked Coach Dutcher how he thought his team was progressing 7-2 after the early part of the schedule. Here's what he had to say.
I think anybody would look at our schedule and see that we were 7-2 with the schedule we played and say it's pretty darn good. And now we can close out the non-conference in a neutral site game with Cal in 10 days and close out our non-conference schedule. And if we found a way to go 8-2, I think that would be spectacular. And it won't be easy. Cal's got a good team, and we'll be playing them up in San Jose. So we'll have a lot of prep time to get ready for that game. And they'll be competitive. It'll be a competitive, hard-fought game.
All right, Lewis, a quickie look back at the Aztecs game against USD December the 8th. If you haven't heard by now, they're officially the unofficial city champs after defeating the Toreros 74-57. They beat UC San Diego in their first official game of the season, 63-58. So undefeated against the two other hometown Division I teams. And like that UCSD game, the USD game was a tight first half as we take a look at some of the play. It was Aztecs by just 2 at the half, despite them being big favorites and leading by 11 at one point. Aztecs would eventually pull away using their depth. They played 9 guys and trying to keep the number of playing minutes down, while the Toreros had 3 guys from their starting rotation, logging 30 minutes plus. Aztecs led by as much as 11 in the first half. Aztecs' Nick Boyd had a quiet first half, but came alive in the second. Led all scorers with 17. Magoon Guath played limited minutes, did not score after that big night in front of Fresno in the conference opener. Ended up playing just under 13 minutes. 1 rebound, 1 block shot on the night for McGuath. USD's Benji Pierre knocked down a bunch of threes against the Aztecs after going into the game 0 for 10. But to Coach Dutcher after this one, where the Aztecs did, of course, pull away in the second stanza, win by 17, and they did that thanks to tougher defense. To Dutcher, it meant the Aztecs are a team now where every night a different player can step up. He also talks about being more concerned with his players developing as a unit as opposed to worrying about metrics like RPI in the net at this point. And oh yeah, there's also taking some time off for finals and the holidays with family.
So the depth of this team is really dangerous for people. You can take one guy away, but the other guy steps up. Jared Coleman against Houston at 18, and then quiet for a game or two. So I love this team, the depth and the offensive capabilities it has. Taj DeGorville went on a 7-0 run himself in the first half. So we've got a lot of talent, and as long as we embrace that every night may not be your night, as long as the team plays well and we win, then you'll have another chance the next time to go out there and have that be your night. So we have to have a short memory and put the work in to continue to get better every day. Everybody wants a metric for something. So you can make the numbers say anything you want. So I know that much. And I'm no good with numbers, but I know that much.
So at this stage, how concerned are you with those metrics versus the team's development?
I'm only concerned with the team's development. The score is going to be the score. So if we play as well as we're supposed to play, then we'll win by more than the metric is supposed to say we're going to win by. If we don't play as well, then hopefully we can still win, but it won't be by the numbers that the metrics thinks we should. So I'm just worried about our performance. And then the rest will take care of itself. They got a lot they got to keep their minds on. They're student athletes, so we got finals coming up in a week. So they got finals, they got final papers due, so they're not just concentrating on basketball, they're concentrating on academics and traveling home for a couple days for Christmas. And, there's a lot on their minds other than basketball. So when I get them, I try to focus them just on basketball. But this is life, and there's more than life than just basketball.
All right, so in the interview room, it was Nick Boyd, Pharaoh Compton. Pharaoh on the left, Nick Boyd on the right. Yeah, curious how each stayed focused during each game. There are a lot of them during these days of the college basketball season, especially if you do well, right? They come off that big Vegas stretch. They had a conference opener and now finals and holidays. Boyd, of course, knows better than most on the team how long the season can be if the Aztecs end up doing well. He was on that Florida Atlantic U team the Aztecs edged in the Final Four a few years back before they went on to lose to UConn in the national championship game.
I think that's a good point. Just trying to block out the noise. Like you said, holidays, life moves fast. People calling you. People want tickets. People want to come to the games. People have their opinion on how you're playing. I just think it's about blocking out the noise. And as I've gone through my career, I try to do that as much as possible. But I know we got some younger guys, so I just try to give them some tips on that. But I think that's, the most important thing is just blocking out the outside noise and just focusing on the group that's at practice fighting every single day.
I would just say, being focused and ready for the games is, everything, but not just the games. You got to be focused all the time. So just taking a second to know that you're going to be doing a lot. And these games are, they're going to be tough, but they're going to be what you make it to be. So if you just start out hard, and then you're going to have you're going to finish exactly how you want to.
Thanks, Steve. And before we go, let's talk a little bit about NIL. The Aztecs are looking for some more cash. Shocker right there. They've started what's called the Link the 619 campaign. They're looking for 1,000 Aztec fans to donate $619, either $619 straight or $51.58 a month for 12 months. So if you know anybody that wants to link the 619 campaign, Steve, and you bothered me for a long time before I finally joined the Aztec Link, right? Or
Right.
So when I'm doing that, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that too, but ball's in your court.
Right, got to look into what's coming over the transom from, all those wealthy relatives in the Perez clan. They have all those far-flung places in, there's Cuba, the south part of Cabo, not the wealthy part.
No.
But yes, and so speaking of things that you could do to generate that feel-good season for the holidays, I wanted to express a little bit of appreciation to you for the Christmas gift that you gave me, which was this This pickle Rick. I mean, I didn't get it exactly on Christmas. I think you eventually ran into it.
Yeah, it was in the it was in the trunk of my car along with a gift from my wife that she never got. But I don't want to talk about that.
so if you can hear him, Okay, so that sort of tells you my general intelligence level. And I saw another gift that people might want to consider for the Aztec fans in their life. And it was on the American Dad cartoon on Adult Swim. We can take a picture of it, the one that I hopefully sent you. And if you see it, there's a bowl. The fish wanted a bowl. There's a mongoose. There's the 2 pickle Ricks in the bowl. And on the very top, there's Kawhi Leonard, the great Aztec basketball player. Now, they wanted him in a Knicks jersey. I'd say if the ultimate gift for the Aztec in your life would be to have Kawhi Leonard in that Aztecs jersey with his number from back in the day.
He's the greatest of all time in an Aztec basketball uniform. Hey, what do you say we wrap this sucker up for the holidays?
Okay. Well, shoot, I was looking for my Aloha. Oh, this is about as good as I can get. Since time is running short, and these are the holidays, it's time to say mahalo and aloha, and thank you for joining us. You can drop us a line at aztecsallin@gmail.com. You can follow what we know about things dealing with the Aztecs, Aztecs_all_in on the X. So for Lewis, I'm Steve. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.